Coming up, we're going to be talking about the Roses, Tiger, and much more. But before we go any further, make sure you do hit that subscribe button to keep up with the latest Disney Plus news. Hi, it's Roger here from What's On at DisneyPlus.com. It's time for a quick Disney Plus news roundup. Let's start off with talking about Tiger, a brand new DisneyNature film, which is going to be dropping onto Disney Plus around the world on Earth Day on Monday, the 22nd of April. So this brand new trailer has dropped, and it looks stunning. And this is one of the things with DisneyNature is they do look amazing. The footage of Tiger just running around in India, it looks stunning. And you just know with DisneyNature that this is going to be top tier. Beautiful looking scenery. My problem with DisneyNature is more so I personally can't stand the narration style of it. I find it very, very childish when compared to things like Planet Earth and Blue Planet and stuff, which ironically the directors actually worked on as well, so that they do look very similar. But that's my one issue with this one. I'm also going to have a slightly personal issue with this one because one of my dogs cannot stand seeing any animals on the screen and will be barking throughout, so I'm going to have to watch it away from her. But there's also going to be a documentary that kind of goes alongside it called Tigers on the Rise. And now I've found with all of the last few releases, including dolphins, elephant, and with penguins, I've really enjoyed the behind the scenes documentary where it's kind of more serious and they show like how it was to film it, also showing some of the footage. So I'm really looking, that's the one that's the one I want to watch more so than Tiger. As I said, it's just a narration style. It's a personal preference that I'm not so keen on. If you've enjoyed the previous DisneyNature ones, I'm sure you're going to love it. It looks great. It's a great thing to have on Earth Day. There's also going to be another documentary called Secrets of the Octopuses coming out as well. So if you've ever been intrigued about octopus, and they are amazing creatures, and if you've enjoyed the Secret of Elephant, Secrets of Whales, that's another show you can check out on Earth Day. I always like that Disney goes all in on this. I think it's a great thing for them to do. Ahead of that, they've kind of given an update to their Earth Day sort of collection within Disney Plus. It's now called Our Home, which is part of a bigger program that they're running right now that's kind of going across theme parks and just kind of, I think it's great that Disney kind of pushing this kind of thing of, looking after our planet and stuff. I think that's just something that, that we all should be doing, and those little changes and stuff are all there. And I think do a little bit of promotion for it to kind of, and give us some great content to watch. I think it's a win-win-win. But yeah, so Tiger, first trailer dropped today. Let us know what you thought of this one in the comments below. Shifting gears now, let's talk about Searchlight Pictures, which is working on a brand new version of The War of the Roses. So this film originally came out back in the 1980s. It was actually directed by Danny DeVito. And yeah, they're going to be redoing it, but this time it's going to be a little bit different because Benedict Cumberbatch is going to be in there along with Olivia Colman. They're going to be both producing it with their companies. The upcoming film is called The Roses, and it's currently in development, and it's going to be directed by Jay Roach, who has previously worked on Austin Powers, Bombshell, Borat, and Meet the Fockers. So I know one of those things, if I was going through his history of like stuff that he's worked on, it's like, okay, well, he's definitely in the comedy territory, and I love the Austin Powers films and stuff. So this one, it could be fun. It's going to be interesting how this comes together. The film tells the story of a picture-perfect couple, Theo and Ivy, whose successful careers, great kids, and have a great sex life. But underneath the facade of the perfect family is a tinderbox of competition and resentment that's ignited when Theo's profession and dreams come crashing down. Now, the question is, do we need to have a reboot of and a remake of a film from the 1980s? We are at a point now where it is kind of, unfortunately, like 30 plus years ago, and we've got a new generation coming up, retelling a story. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I think it just kind of feels, I think maybe for those of us of my age and stuff, kind of feel, it feels a bit soon, but they've been rebooting stuff much quicker than that. If it's good, it's good, but the fact that they're going to be in development on this is good. I'm not sure when it's going to be coming out. I suspect it will be going straight to cinemas first before then coming to Disney Plus, like most films. But yeah, so if you've got, and I mean the cast, you've got Olivia and Benedict, they are both fantastic. So that one's going to be really cool. But let us know, you're excited about The Roses? Love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments below. Think is back to Disney Plus. Just want a little bit of a discussion, a little bit about some changes that have been happening with Disney Plus. More so from the point of view of like social media and the way they're promoting it. So yesterday they did release the Next on Disney Plus video, which is where they highlight everything coming to Disney Plus in the month ahead. Now, I used to do similar kind of video to this one, but I ended up stopping because the monthly lists were becoming so thin that there wasn't really a lot of point in doing it. And I've also been kind of trying to work out what's going to happen with like new releases, because the trouble is with this Hulu and Disney Plus thing is I can't guarantee that some stuff is going to be arriving. So when you get the Hulu list, and I kind of, put it out there, it's like, well, here's what could be on there, but I can't guarantee that all of this will be on Disney Plus in the US. It's a little bit hit and miss. Some things you can kind of take an easy guess. If Disney are making it, you know that's kind of easy, and that's generally where I kind of have been putting the line. Well, they put out the new video, and they definitely went all in on pushing now that Hulu is part of Disney Plus. They had, things like Shogun in the thumbnail. They were showing the films and shows that are the big ones that are coming to Hulu, which are also coming to Hulu and Disney Plus. We've seen it on their social medias now, where they're pushing things of what's on there. We are now in the stage where they are essentially treating Hulu as part of Disney Plus. This is their new plan, and you're really seeing now that, like, when you look at the lists for like each month, Disney Plus seems quite light because they've got all this Hulu stuff that's been being thrown in to really boost up. I'm hoping at some point in the future we will see them merge them together, because I don't think this is a good option long term, but right now I think this is a great way of getting people on board with the fact that Disney Plus is not just for kids. There's this whole section of Disney Plus which is going to be delivering you great content, a reason to stick around. You're not just waiting on, like Marvel and Star Wars kind of things, and you can get it all through the Disney Plus app. When you log into it now, you're seeing all these shows, you're getting like new stuff like Shogun today. And I think this is the way that Disney Plus is going to be able to get into that next stage. Is what it needed to done. It's kind of fun watching it, because we've had it internationally with Star for a while, but it's kind of gone into overdrive with the US because there's just so much more content being dropped on there. But yeah, I think this is a really good move forwards. It kind of feels like, I feel like I've been saying these kind of things since Star launched, of talking about, things like American Horror Story coming to Disney Plus. And, the days of every time I used to post this when it first launched of Americans generally going, what? You can't do that. That seems to be moving away a little bit. If you go on any of the social media posts, there's a lot of people kind of pushing back on it. We've had some comments on our channel as well of people talking about, they want it to be the way it was. And unfortunately, keeping a streaming service that is purely just for your child isn't sustainable long term. And that's not going to work. And, they have the parental controls in there to make things better. I think they could make some changes. While you can set the age thing, I think if you could go in and individually remove items as well, I think that would help towards, but it's just a lot of more admin that's going to be done, a lot of tech. It just might not be theoretically possible with the amount of content that comes out and internationally and stuff, but I think that would be a nice step. So if you particularly didn't want your kid watching that show, that would be a way of doing it. But yeah, it is a bit of a change, and people have got to get used to it, and it's going to take time. I think Disney have been doing it slowly. They've been setting that tone all of last year, building up to it, that it was coming, and that they were putting little steps in. Things like Daredevil and Love Victor, they were putting those little steps in. They were starting to do little promotions to get people more and more used to it. Then the beta launched in December, ran that for a few months. So when it did fully launch, and now we're seeing it all the time, most people that have got the Hulu bundle are now seeing this and being like, yeah, well, it's been like this for months. But when you logged in on Disney Plus this morning, the first thing you see is new episode of Shogun. And yesterday it was Vanderpump Villa. And this is the key thing, is they are now pushing that, as these are on Disney Plus. This is their way of getting you in. And I just think ultimately at some point you're going to see them finally just bite the bullet, merge them together at one price. Which kind of leads us on to the question of the day, which comes from Epic Gamer, who says, "Hi Roger, in your opinion, how do you think they could handle the pricing and bundle structure in the US? I agree with you, it's an absolute mess. There are too many options and it can get very confusing if you don't fully understand what's in there. Keep up the great work." Now, this is something I think Disney needs to work on, and I think the key one really is when you've merged in Disney Plus and Hulu and it's one price. So therefore that is the easiest way of doing it. So it's just $9.99 with ads for both and $19.99 for without ads. You know, that keeps it simple. But I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to end up probably doing what they've done internationally, where we end up with 3 tiers, where it's standard with ads, standard and premium. I think you're going to get to that point in the US, so that will be what you get, and you'll have those 3 options. And then there'll be that additional ESPN add-on, I think will be the option that they'll launch next year. But we're probably a way off that. I think all of the add-ons like Showtime and Max, etc., I think all of that is eventually going to go when they do eventually. I just can't see how they're going to keep that Hulu app running 2 at the same time. And also the whole future of Hulu Live TV, whether or not that becomes its own separate little app and then it has access to all of Disney Plus within it. That may be a way that they can do it. But yeah, I think fundamentally there is too many options. I went into my app the other day just to try and see if, you know, like checking on what bundles and stuff were available, and I was questioning like, do I need ESPN Plus? Because I've got because I didn't know if it was going to pop up in Disney Plus. It hasn't yet, but I was actually watching some UFL last night, so it was that kind of thing of it's just a bit messy, and I definitely feel they need to work on this going forward. But yeah, so I'd love to know what you think. You know, is this a good thing with the promotion and the bundles and stuff? Love to hear your thoughts on all this in the comments below. And if you've got a question for tomorrow, let us know. And on that note, guys, thank you very much. See you guys soon. Laters.